There you go.
Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the Flatrock Poetry Open Mic. Thank you so much to Karen and Steve for letting us have it here. And thank you so much for coming to be with us today. We're all blessed to have you here. We're going to get started first with Mo Christopher. Oh my gosh, are you ready?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you. Let's give Amy a round of applause, everybody. Thanks so much for having this, and thank you guys so much for coming. It's beautiful. You all are beautiful. Appreciate seeing you today. How you doing? Awesome. Good feedback. I like call and response. It's always a great thing. We got this thing at Po' Boys and Poets. I'm going to see how with you guys are at this moment. Basically, when I say Po' Boys, so some people in the back know where it's coming from. One more time. Po' Boys? I got that? So when I say Po' Boys, y'all say make noise, all right? One more time. Po' Boys?
Make noise.
All right, cool. You guys are with me. Super glad to be here today. I've been working on some stuff. I've been trying to get it memorized because I have a thing with forgetting lines. So this first one is a really short piece about me being a superhero. See, if I was a superhero, I would have a costume so clean that every time that I swung, it'd sound off like a money machine, like cha-ching, cha-ching. And every time I switch directions, it's not swish but swing. And the gaffas are obnoxious, they don't glisten, they bling. And the emblem on my chest is so mean that every time bad dudes see it, they straight dump in their jeans. I'm still stricken with these wicked vices. Cigarette, weed, and liquors. Powder, pills, and liquids. I can't state I quit with conviction. And this causes conflict within. I'm insured in the streets, so that's where I seek prescriptions. And sometimes these maladies are mistook for the sickness. But if that was true, I'd opt out the subscription. I'd meet one of my flaws on a walk and be like, nah, I didn't get the issue. But real life isn't thrive off wishing. And so, strong children are easy to build, but God help a man that need fixing. In a society quick to flick you out of sight, quick as a whip you displace the belief that gives you drive, and then you hide in a niche that applies a mold. And it strikes the eyes blind. Controls the real eyes. So these illicit tinctures are merely just symptoms of the schism that's been ripped into the fabric that you're intrinsically given to keep your soul and your corpo upon the same plane of existence. Bad habits. Wow, one more. Let's see where we want to go with this one. You guys want political? Yeah? Yeah, political? Okay. Inside of the structure of your ruling body lies a cancerous body of lies. It hides behind false truths and manufactured facts shy of prying eyes. Concerned eyes of those attempting to surmise an answer to whom is plotting against Americans and attempting to incite our freedom's demise. We timidly try and deny that the cancer is so alive, and even when proof of foes shows through, the screen of smoke and holds true, we act so surprised. We know the system's flawed, but then we're going to rationalize and shield our eyes, like by avoiding the problem, we're defeating the heathen structure in our nation's demise. And okay, you may think what I say is uncouth. You may think that I'm a loon on the loose, attempting to rock the boat on which you cruise. You may say that I'm a conspiratorial heretic, made to bray and break rules. Preaching words that don't need speaking and reaching verdicts that corrupt the people of mass power, conceiving plans selfishly seeking to attain gains for the individually selfish reasons. I'm talking like leaders giving in to corruption. I, me, mine, that's their subject of discussion. Money and power is the object for which they are lusting, and your liberty, well, that's their main obstruction. You've been tagged and controlled by those cold, powerful souls, and no place is safe. You still owe loans on your mortgage home base. Your heat and electricity, well, that's given by their good grace. And your security, well, that's in their hands, willfully placed. To them, you're just a number. And numbers have no face, just another pawn to be carelessly picked up and misplaced however they please. But believe you me, nothing is free. Sweat, blood, tears. That's how forefathers bought our liberty. And as for me, I'm concerned, and my past generation compliance is confirmed, so I guess it's my generation's turn to return our country from this listing position into an upright and foreign position. Beware, because the corrupted will lie to your face and say piously that they believe in equal rights. But truthfully, that wasn't ever the case. Discrimination is deeper than sex, creed, or race. These are just nurtured distractions strategically placed to encourage pious distaste, to urge anger and instigate surges of unrighteous hate. And of course, this makes your unrighteous hatred an obscene smokescreen used to hide malevolent goals with thoughts wrought in disgrace. Because every child, woman, and man, every proud American is the same if they stand on foreign soils and hostile lands. We're all collectively stand with Star-Spangled Brand constitutionally indoctrinated, upholding democracy's commands. So I guess it's you, my Americans, to whom I speak, who I urge to think, stop staring, blink. Shape up and compose yourselves to go against those cold, corrupted souls abusing control before they reach their pious peak. And they shove liberty right off the brink. Because when freedom falls, what poor souls will with no control sink into the depths of an abysmal abyss, so deep that within it, hope is not even a thought you'd consider to think. And discussion of freedom is told as a joke, with a wink. Thanks, guys.
Give it up for Morgan. That was amazing. So powerful. So real. Thank you. All right, next up we have Amy Madison.
I was so glad there was an open mic today because I just finished 2 new poems. This one's called Keep Breathing. Actually, I had a birthday on November 15th, and every year, thank you very much. Still here, y'all. Yeah, Scorpio rocks. So every year on my birthday, I write a piece, and this is the piece I wrote this year. It's called Keep Breathing. I used to be a colored girl, stretching her legs on a long summer day. My imagination ran away with me, and I chased it around the backyard. Or I climbed into the mimosa tree, sat in the warm, smooth place between its limbs and daydreamed I was someone else. I lived and died whole lives in my childhood. The twin traumas of racism and sexual abuse creeped and crowded me, shouted how wrong and useless I was. Frame those fragments with an ancient attachment to my white adoptive parents and a deep-seated belief that I had to earn love, and you'll see something that resembles the portrait of me that hung for years over the fireplace, a smiling brown-skinned child in a blue dress. For decades now, I've collected a bucket full of rocks cast across the universe, each one labeled with a personal affliction, trauma, depression, anxiety, self-hatred, suicidal ideation, mania, substance abuse, rheumatoid arthritis. The rocks are dull and dangerous, but they remind me what hasn't killed me yet. The unloved child died last year. I buried her deep so her lessons might seep into the soil of my life. Her resilience and strength, her passion and imagination, her kind heart and sweet nature. I marked her grave with all the rocks, lay each one down so the dirt of her might stay. I said a prayer and walked away. Sometimes redemption is as easy as taking another breath, exhaling despair, inhaling hope, despair and hope, despair and hope. It's a story. How you tell it changes everything, and it can always end with love. Until then, I'll pray for the child, and I'll pray for the rock collector. I'll bow my head to right now, and I'll keep breathing. This is called Poetry for the Poet. Poetry isn't bread, but bread is poetry. How you begin with water, yeast, and flour, let it sit to rise, how the curled hands knead the dough, shape it into a loaf, and bake it at 350 degrees. It's the kind of poetry you can smooth with butter or cheese, pinch and break apart. It's the kind of poetry you can eat. Impoverished me, I need bread, so I use my EBT card to buy it from Walmart. Packaged and perfectly sliced. When I eat it, I never think once about the metaphor, but I imagine the sweat and hands that brought it to me and how I need them. They are poetry too. Poetry isn't the sky, but the sky is constantly shifting depending on where I stand. Now I am standing on a balcony in Nashville, and the 4 a.m. sky in springtime is a deep, dark blue, the kind of blue that's gorgeous and says everything without words. The sky, that color blue, they're the kind of poetry I could fall in love with, the way I fall in love with women who come and go in constant as a moody sky and stretching forever where I'll never be. Loneliness can be poetry too. Poetry isn't a pill or dollar bills or a lover's shoulder, but it eases the rumble in my gut, fills the emptiness in my pockets, and subsides the fear in my chest. It tells me everything's going to be okay because I'm putting one word in front of the other, the way my footsteps move along a wooded trail upwards towards the top of the ridge. My heavy breath and the cold November air in my lungs are poetry. My muscles and heartbeat, poetry. The fallen trees, the dead leaves, the hibernating brush and hushed forest sounds, all of it is poetry. I am poetry too. The kind of poetry that prays for wisdom. The kind of poetry that fastens itself to hope. The kind of poetry that stays awake the long night. The kind of poetry that soaks the bone and calls home wherever I am standing. The kind of poetry that saves me and saves me. I'm going to do one more. I went to an artist retreat, and the question was, who am I at this historical moment as an artist? And this was my response. My friends say I'm tender-hearted, open-hearted, big-hearted. All I know is I have a heart, and it's human and ordinary, identical in function to the billions of hearts beating at this moment on a planet we all call home. I know, too, my heart's been broken by abandonment, broken by the racist slurs of my childhood, broken by my grandfather's hands on my child body. Where does a queer-colored girl go to grieve? I can tell you. She grieves in basement apartments and in dance clubs. She grieves in backyards and kitchens and coffee houses. She opens her mouth and grieves out loud on stage in front of folks who don't even know her. I've been cutting my teeth on despair my whole life, but my heart just keeps beating whether I want it to or not. Who am I at this historical moment? I'm a human with a heart that beats the word alive in my chest. I'm an open mouth come to tell you because I know living is worth it. Living is worth another blue sky day in June when thousands of fireflies come out at night, each of their flickering lights saying, I'm here. So if you're brokenhearted, I can tell you this much. There is love with your name on it, and joy is always hovering at the wings of your life. All you gotta do is put your hand to your chest and feel the beat of a heart singly devoted to your living. Your lungs breathe in and out just for you. And if that ain't love, I don't know what is. What I know for sure is I am here now. And you are here now. And together our hearts tell a story of hope and possibility, of love and joy. Together we resonate with the sounds of a single word. human. Thanks, y'all.
Oh my God, Amy, that is so powerful. That's like the gospel. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. This is so exciting. Next we have Deborah Wilbrink. Give it up for Deborah. Thank you.
So poetry is not my first choice when I'm writing, but occasionally I do a poem. So thank you for listening today. This is called An Argument While Driving. Blood leaks from her ear. Thought rears and plunges in her eyes, but silence darts from her mouth. His blow caught her by surprise. 54 years old, too old for tantrums? She flung one anyway. Sure, he's taken the wrong way. He reflexed and popped her a good one. 61 years old, he too is way past that day. When the shock sets in, pull over, grim. The air has changed, relation rearranged. A simple turn gone wrong, a map misread. The route cannot be retraced. Must move ahead instead. Dorothy Parker is one of my favorite poets, and so this was written in tribute to her ironic sonnets, and I used the same form for that. It's called Ever Anon, That Which Could Be Beckons. Ever anon, that which could be beckons, whilst I collect mica from muddy ruts. Muse upon her sometime visits reckons. One day I'll have enough, ere life's gifts shut. She touches my shoulder softly, smiling. Shafts break through of Apollo's brilliant sun. Clouded rain of damp days resumes a dying, measured, shrouded means of post-redemption. Could I but find blood-strong courage to face the muse and bow, to trust at last her patronage and let her show me how. Starvation I fear, however, and age alone. Worse, garbled verses left unhoned. This next poem is the last poem that I wrote, and it was 18 months ago at our poetry workshop out in Murfreesboro. So I'm looking for some inspiration today, and I've already found some. So I thank you all for coming and for our host and for putting this all together. So in that particular workshop, we wrote a poem about an object, and I chose to write about my mother-in-law's ashes, who were in a blue velvet box on our dresser. Her name is Marie, and she was Dutch. In the Netherland, midnight blue rounded box, heavy with reminiscence, sedate, secret, soft, unsure of its fate, in between death and recreation. A small square, like windowpane acid, evocation of time travel and precious eternal lore. You hold velvet ash and gnarly bone, a Marie that was, is, will be, until the between time ends. Shall you be blown asunder by the wind? Nourish the dogwood's crystal-breaking roots. Feed the plants. Fish food in the Alkmaar Canal, where you played as a girl. Or shall you go into my garden, where your loving son and I will once again feed on your bounty? I see you on our dresser nightly as I make ready the journey to dreamland. Midnight blue velvet box floating in the Netherland.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Right, next we have David Harris.
The poems are all pretty short, so I'll start with a quick pitch for an open workshop that I lead every month on the third Saturday of the month at 2 o'clock. at City Limits Cafe on Clofton Drive, I think it is, in Bellevue. And it's open to whoever shows up. Just come in and turn left, always on the left. Well, it's past Thanksgiving, so it's officially part of what I call the Christian Ramadan, where everybody settles in for their hardcore worship of Mammon. And since I'm not a Christian, I figured I should bring my Jesus poems. I used to teach English, and I started collecting weird phrases that I got from my students. And the first one, he was talking about his football team and his quarterback, who was a pre-Madonna. So I figured that deserved a poem. Pre-Madonna. The future was a rose of Sharon, young and lovely, born to influence, descended from kings, destined to marry some prince, to honor his family and be a prominent wife and mother. Young notables lined up to court the priest's niece. No hick carpenter for Mary. Then the angel came. Jump ahead a little in the story.
Can you speak up a little or closer to the mic?
Okay. Jump ahead a little bit. Ecce homo. For those of you who don't speak any Latin, it's behold the man. Slipping their expectations across the unpromising land like one of his father's roof beams, this fish in the desert leads his company, his words remembered and revered, never a chance to sit around and shoot the breeze. No one to confide his human fears. If he looks at Mary, all the girls seem to be called Mary, or talks to her alone, the men glower and sulk. Sometimes he wishes he were an older god, who has a better claim to wine than he. Old Bacchus and Silenus get to lift a jar. All he gets to raise is Lazarus. Just once he'd like to be a normal guy. But even if he tells a dirty joke, he knows they'll never write it down. And a little further ahead in the story again. The truth and the salvation. The Rebbe warned me what would happen, what the others would say about me, how they'd cast me out of their brotherhood, his brotherhood, for heeding his command. Why me? Have I deserved this exile, or is the word earned? He handed me our silver, the trust of our meager fisc. I, the dagger man, Sicarius, was treasurer to the teacher of peace. I could have shown Peter, that putz, how to handle a sword, if he'd asked if swords had been part of our job. But now he's the rock, the saint, and I roam the empire while they twist the Rebbe's teachings. Sometimes I think I might go after that Saul, slip a blade between his vertebrae. But that was not my assignment. Collect the silver coins, bring them in, and kiss my master goodbye. I wept to do his will. I was the strong one, trustworthy. Without me, there is no trial, no death, no resurrection. Thank
you. Thank you, David. Those are very well crafted. Next we have Queen Still. Get that right, Queen Still? Okay, give it up. Thank you.
How are you guys? I have two pieces, if that's okay. Two, just two. It's called Dreams, Kings, Queens, and Our Children. the Nile and the Jordan River, sandy storms, donkey rides in our hands intertwined. Candles that smell like cotton and the light from the moon. Night kisses from our king, that's you, and hugs from our children who fight their sleep. And counting the stars in your eyes, licking mango juice from your fingers, and under the night sky with you. Roses fill the air in my hand, my heart holds with care. Strong man you are, and strong woman I am. Looking out past the horizon, and all in the sun looks over ours, and all that the sun looks over is ours. Bathed in the rivers where maidens wash our things, pineapple juice from them, and my juice for you. The prince, our children. Oh, thank goodness you're their father. Dreams seem real, and no matter the weather. I have been without, but your love fills me. Broken promises and shattered dreams. Thank goodness I am your queen, and you are my king, and our children, a happy family, an endless dream. For you and me, colors fill the room where we slumber, and the children come rushing in, asking their parents to look under the bed. Unwanted guests. Kisses from us. To unease the worry, and along with you I find rest. And I dream of us in a distant place, distant lovers not yet to know the truth, that all these dreams I have are daydreams about you, your skin, height, everything. I just wish my daydream of you would finally come true. And then I have one more, if that's okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't listen to your silent cry. I'm sorry I wasn't lifting you up when I couldn't lift myself. I'm sorry the world sees more value in your organ versus your mind. And I'm sorry people are always trying to see you cry. I'm sorry for the countless women who hurt you, misled you, and hurt you so. I'm sorry that my words won't heal the promised sorrow that you were born to feel. And I'm sorry that I wasn't there when you needed me just to be. I was just always trying to fix it when you needed me to just be. You are amazing, perfect, and so smart, kind, and sexy, and I'm sorry if I hurt you when you needed me the most. You are a reflection of the Most High's greatest work. I'm sorry I wasn't loving enough to see past your faults that America placed on your heart. I am here now, and if you'd have me, allow me to see the limits. I am here now. If you have me, allow me to see the limits that were placed, see the limits that they placed on someone that's worth more than money, stars, and gold. I'm sorry. My words are cold. I'm sorry I didn't love you enough when you needed me the most.
That was very deep and loving. Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have Jennifer Sarcosta. Yay.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
No.
Okay. No?
Just kidding.
Okay. Thank you. So I have 3 poems possibly to read if we have enough time. The first one's called Good Love Doesn't Hurt. Is there any way that we could lower this just a little bit? They call me Tiny Poet at home, so thank you. Yeah, that's better. Cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. This way I don't have to go on my tippy toes. All right. Good love doesn't hurt. Thumbprints tap tentatively along a message board discontent. Each strike, letter, vowel, sound Your note crumbles and crumbs, destitute of familiar and natural intent. And then you say, whatever you want. I want to speak your name, gliding on hidden secrets, the way dandelions whisper white wishes through an open field of wide, blue-eyed daisies. I want to sink inside seduction, diving down lemon-dewy layers, chasing after the smooth taste of silent words, sliding down my throat, but smoldering in your belly. Go on. Catch me wild, stolen and starved by your amorous gaze, across a table draped and bare, where we're far enough away to burn slow tension between, but still sizzle, nearby and behind amber inferno eyes. I want to gaze black cherry wine with just the right amount of burgundy buzz dripping off my fingertips. Have you drink my dreams and drunk on rich, rooty thoughts, wondering and waiting if you feel it too. I want to share the scent and language of infinity, speak in silver-stained lavender tongue that slips off lips and sails into stars, a collision of measurable proportion, our sacred silhouette complicated, yet our entwined design proves perfectly fitted. Sleeved and gloved, silken-wrapped tongues capture and rapture a moment, a beat. Our hearts speak in ways that move in sync and rhythm. A touch and squeeze, taut and firm, or simply still. Sweet, nestled love. I want to laugh so hard one of us snorts out loud, most likely me. Yeah, it's embarrassing, but it's so funny. We just keep laughing and laughing and laughing. That's right. Can you ingest such curiosity into a new world of discovery? Take on a full body memory deep inside the other's interpretation. Can you sense me long and tender, without time, intent, or destination, but only quiet, calm concentration? Can you withstand eternity, soak your sorrows into ripened earth, fresh and open, like how rose powder perfume falls on fresh and softened skin? Can you know my name naked? Surrender onto crimson-lipped kisses stained in full bloom. I want to be discovered, discovering you. I want to excavate your mind into wild orchid butterflies, scoop up your dreams like blueberry pie. I love blueberry pie. I want to know enough about you that I'm secure inside you, that I may give of my precious self freely without hesitation or resolve. I want to be silent expansion, close and cozy, chuckling with the funny parts and crying with the tender parts. I don't know, maybe kiss away a few tears, or just feel the tenderness of another's heart beating in time with mine. Can it happen? Can we fall free and unabashed into the blood and bones, the anatomy of safe and secure love? What do I want? I want to slip into you and stow away. I want to sleep long and deep and calm and beautiful. I want to love deeply and completely. All I want is a simple moment, quiet and still, and somehow be changed in a very good way. Thank you. Thank you. This next one is called I Learned I Was Valuable. Our eyes never really quite met, and my mind wandered down barren halls filled with white noise, full of gray sound, static. Your voice, void of content, that even the swings swayed to stop. And little kids lost interest in the circus. Mumble jumble, tongue flapping, spittle dribble tossed words spoken only for your amusement. You amuse yourself. A clown with no makeup on, but your lines are still blurred. Bleary-eyed blather, you go on and on and on. Let me hear my own thoughts and put my cup in the right place. I am right-handed, you know. I learned I was valuable that day, the day I saw you last, standing in rose-colored shades, a peek through frosted pink glass. It was time. I knew in my mind you were unaware. I learned I was valuable when I showed up wearing the sun in my eyes, and your head was wrapped in dark fog. You didn't notice yellow was so bright, standing in the stunning day of light. That moment, you filled yourself up in front of me, blinded and bloated, chit-chatting chatter, yet you could never bear the battered and blistering pains persisting deep inside my gut. I learned I was valuable when the keys to my kingdom fell to the floor and my heart lay open at the beat of your feet. My exhale, waiting for a step, or even just a flinch, but never, ever to bend to your will again. I watched the hero fight for his love, even beyond what the screen could hold, and I knew there was more. There was much, much more. I learned I was valuable when I stepped out of my own skin and time gave way to the fields to play, to move through the breeze of past, climbing up to the tip of that mountain, wearing the sun in my eyes. I was valuable. And with that, I chose to never see you again. Okay, and this last one is something I wrote for my sweetheart, my boyfriend, on Thanksgiving. So since we passed Thanksgiving, I thought it was appropriate to read something much nicer than the other two that I wrote. So this is to my sweetheart. Time walked over yellow and green leaves, snapping and crunching on graveled paths, watching the sky fall into dreams yet unknown, but somehow made together. And out across the land, by pink and red hues and lily-white clouds, we spoke of faith in our pockets, in our hands, in those soft moments becoming, stitching tattered seams, now woven in tune as one. Memories running through pumpkin patches, playing games, tossing bets and favors, dancing under green October, dressed in hula hoops and sunshine. We celebrated life, love, and each other. Running, sitting, eating, passing the days turned months, looking over the river's rhymes and reflections in ripples, carving our names in stained wood on paths spoken through quiet trees while whispering wishes on fingertips, holding onto hands and heartbeats with so much appreciation and value in touch, togetherness, and time. I am so very thankful for you, my love, all that you are in every way. Have a happy, healthy, healing Thanksgiving now and always. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. You could be a painter. You're so visual. It's beautiful. I love all your colors and alliteration. Next, we have Dot Henry, who's doing our workshop today. Yes, thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Dot. We're actually after this doing a workshop today, writer's workshop. So if any of you want to stick around, hang out. I got a lot of magnetic poetry that seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun. So I suggest doing so. Not because I'm like leading it, but because I want to see you. This is a new one I wrote a few days ago. In your kiss was the taste of a poison I haven't quite yet forgot. Forgive me not, you're not at fault. The vile mixture of liquor and cigarette smoke staining your teeth is the perpetrator here, war the perpetrator there. An unwarranted hand exploring private land, disregarding the no trespassing sign, the taste of vomit on her tongue and diving in, masking the bile, all the while with this familiar poison. You understand, this wasn't the first, nor the second, neither the last. This was the first that she could grasp, a horror masquerade where she were to play the leading lady. Boundaries bound to the realization of truth residing in life, kept tied tight, yet once broken are a bitch to reinforce, but must be done so with force. To foresee a future where they are kept with change instead of string, to bring about an era of respecting and receiving the same, even if it isn't quite the chain. Even if it were floss, loosely tossed over, it would still be left alone, stronger than bone by just words alone. But for now, I'll continue to shut you down. I'll turn my back and be the bitch you need me to be. To see, when I put these boundaries, they're for me. And if you dream to regain that friendship, you'll leave well enough alone. This is an old one. Don't try to trick me into a kiss. Don't guilt trip me for not wanting those lips. A kiss should not feel like this, one that is forced upon trembling tips. Treacherous tales tumble to tell a convincing concoction to coerce me into something I do not want. Do you even care? You crave a connection, so you pull one out of thin air. You claim since the first night you saw me, you wanted a kiss, and then try to explain why it means more than this. More than an attraction to body parts, a different feeling, one from the arts. Yet you say you wanted it from the beginning, so tell me, did my eyes portray a deeper meaning? Did my body tell you my story, my past? Was everything we had in common directly related to the curve of my ass? Let's call it for what it is, a simple desire. Don't attempt to name it something else and name yourself a liar. You wanted me for my body, my face, before you knew me at all. You cannot fool me with pretty lies that stretch far too tall. A kiss meant more to me than you would ever know. You hear that and still ask for just one before you go. Just one. One kiss and multiple lies led to your demise in my eyes, standing with a million reasons and excuses at my front door. Fine. You can have your kiss and nothing more.
Oh, Dot, that was awesome. All right, does anybody else want to read? Anybody else want to? Yes. Come on up. All right, RJ.
My name is RJ, and my gender pronouns are they, them, theirs, which means I don't go by he or she pronouns. When you walk through the halls in them streets, and people don't know if you're a boy or a girl, and think their confusion don't show. When you use a bathroom and they can't keep a straight face, always they say, hey, I think you're in the wrong place. When you put on a shirt and you just feel wrong because parts of you show that just don't belong. When you're no longer allowed to cut your hair short because your parents missed the girl that they adored. When you bind and you hurt and you do what you can, you always end up right where you began. When those that teach you can't even get your damn name right. And there just ain't no fixing in sight. When the one you're supposed to look up to puts you with the girls and they wonder why they don't act like they do. When you show who you are and society condemns, then you will know what it's like to be genderqueer in this world. So I write a lot of poems about being transgender, what that means for me, and being in relationships with other human beings. So here's one that's called Love Me Always, a trans perspective on relationships. I'm not a man or a woman. I'm genderqueer, brown, Puerto Rican, and Latinx. I'm not a walking encyclopedia of transgender knowledge. Do your homework, step it up. I have scars, a wounded heart. Do not abuse me. I am so many things. See, the labels are just not enough. The queer, the trans, the brown, the black runs deep through my blood. I have been a nomad in my own flesh. My ancestors walk with me even though sometimes I forget. The boxes I check, the bathrooms I use, the clothes I wear, the shoes I introduce, how I walk, sit, talk, and even breathe. I am conscious of everything because everything is gendered in this society. Future lovers, partners, boos, and honeys. I am not your research project. I am not a toy for your sexual liberation. Believe me when I say what my gender pronouns are. Believe me even when you are conditioned to read my body a certain kind of way. Fight your automatic impulse to silence me with your gender binary. Show me mercy. Have patience when I feel down. Show me kindness and compassion. Do not discriminate me in your sexual attraction. Come into my gender unicorn world and be free. Sometimes I need you to love me despite of my body. Sometimes I need you to love me when my body doesn't. Sometimes I need you to love my body when I don't. Sometimes I need you to love this flesh because it hasn't known love. Sometimes I need you to just love my transgender spirit. Love me today for who I am, not what you see. Love me tomorrow for who I am becoming. Love me the following day for having survived this cisgender, heteronormative white world. Love me next week because I may be a victim of someone's transphobia and racism. In relationship with this transgender being, you need to be mindful. With this transgender person, you need to ask for consent before touching. With this transgender spirit, you must be honest. In relationship with me, you must remember that I was never meant to survive. I find myself in the midst of the Garden of Eden, co-creating my body, my gender, my life with divine and magical power. I carry my pain with me, and I've learned to heal my wounds you may never understand. My resilience meets your fears. My proud meets your confusion. My tears meets your smile. My worries meets your faith. Let us soak it in all together. Journey with me. Love me always. Love me unconditionally. Love me regardless of the labels. Love me because I am certain of who I am and was called to be. Love me ever so deeply. Love me takes time and commitment. Loving me is a radical act of resistance. Love me. It's all I ask of you. And this last poem that I want to read, I've titled it #TransFemMagic. Trans magic is having a community you can count on. It means practicing self-care by loving on yourself in a world that continues to kill your sisters and siblings. Trans magic is waking up each day knowing that you've survived. Wake up, get dressed, leave the house. See, it's not that easy. Looking at the closet, feeling queasy as you struggle to find something to wear, and you look at your bank account and don't see no deposit, and you realize you don't have money for your hair. You call your girlfriend, ask her to spot you. You know your girl's got you. My breath is resistance. My body is magical. My love is radical. My existence is enough. I am a magical creature. I have creatively created who I am today. I'm a unicorn riding the waves of cis-normativity. I'm a lovely person that travels across space and time. My gender is a recipe I am still writing. It is a story that is possible because my body exists. My body is raised from dust, breath into life, loved in perpetual purpose. Spirit given form, soul given shape, body and spirit dance together, and it is because of body that dancing is even a thing at all. Our bodies are the pages upon which the words of our collective histories and ancestries still find their expression.
Thank you, RJ. That was beautiful. So powerful. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else want to read? Anyone want to hear me read? Okay, do you want to hear something flamboyant, or do you want to hear something kind of somber? Flamboyant. You got it. Okay. And these are dedicated to my love, who sits there. Okay. This one is called The Honey Thread. Melt mouth, musk mouth, Mexikiss, basil kiss, mince kiss, abstract kiss, creamsicle, lip hickey, it kisses fate, unknown, random, other, opposite of hate. I'm biting into your random candies. I'll eat cheesecake with you anytime. I'm flying into you for shelter. You are the wilderness for my wild dove. I am the dove to your wild church. Nestle into your neck, bury my face into your hands, and find my nest, my home, my wilderness preserve, until it's safe to play again. Safe for you, safe from my old impulse rages. We find peaceful places in our hearts, peaceful, playful passion places to explore as is, without words. You are the sand in my shell, a patient heart-making pearl in the midst of my stormy mass. Slalom, jetsam, gypsum, basalt, the slow rhythm drumming a wild heart. I am the sand and you the slow wave, washing out bubbling laces. Waves of pearl, waves of shell. I'm diving deep into your mouth, exploring your ocean, the ocean we are making, melting me to honey thread, the thread from me to you, the link between the engine and that slow Memphis train, between the core of me and your ember, the purple trail of your mouth on me, the purple flood, the honey trail, dream sweet into that dark soft candy, go deep into that dark softly, dream slowly into this dizzy spin, dovetail, even song, dove coat, dove spin, a dangerous journey into the deep end, the rope that holds us to the ship, the same other, combining second skins, winded. We're floating in warm waves we've made into an absolute joyous calm. You're holding me, I'm holding you, in a honey sea love, rocking it, what we've found. Thank you all so much for coming. We're so grateful that you're here. We're blessed. We're so blessed that we're alive. We've learned so much today. What? Yes, another one? All right, welcome. Come on up. Come on up. Welcome. You're fine. No, sorry, you're fine.
We're going to have to raise the mic, though.
Just a bit.
Hey y'all, sorry I was putting finishing touches on this one. I still have one word I'm working on. Alright, the title is Leaves, like leaves on a tree. Sustaining poinsettias by bringing inside from all colluding frosts. Leaves bear soiled ground, tacks on sole bottoms from the male's retreats. Peppered blanks, not makings of parties, noting nothing inside. Silenced seedlings for the birds. Tactical darkness an hour earlier, for sooner sunsets, okay. Middling in America, snowdrifts, frozen lips that can't let go. A Trump so stuck, the Tin Man. Not considering the single might, America's loophole, word for word, swearing in. The front page title touts, Peached Trump, tweeting morals banned, as not those of America's daily working hands. Sounds outside of Trump's innocence license grows. We all feel like pirates and are guilty of something, about to walk the plank. One lucky Hoosier, our verse slam dunk, brought about by being true to his word. More good carpentering to free our publics than any Trump nightstand. One devoted and rested, might Pence. Lives dedicated again to faithfully living to family, friends, neighbors, and what holds all lands. The impossible, creative, never leaves.
Yes.
Can I make a quick announcement?
Yes,
Okay.
Do you want to come up here?
No, I think I can just do it here. I should have done it on my turn, but if you're interested in getting on the ballot in May, the referendum to fund mass transit, better mass transit, more frequent buses, rail line that goes down Nolensville Road, just raise your hand and I'll give you one of these. You don't even have to pay postage. So just sign it if you're a registered voter in the county.
A registered voter?
Yeah. They'll check in and they'll accuse us of cheating, so you have to be a voter. Anybody else? Nobody wants to ride the bus? Okay.
Cool. Frizzy? I just wondered. Okay. Cool. You're welcome, Frizzy.
How's everybody doing? How many of y'all know what love is? Okay, we got a couple of them that know what love is. Are you sure? Kind of, sort of? That's how I am. So check this out. I got this little piece that I actually wrote that kind of challenges, and y'all have to excuse me, I'm a little under the weather, so I'm trying to push it out with this cold. But it kind of challenges what we think love is. So just ride with me for a second. My mind wanders, wondering if you even know how to love me. These feelings of emotion that run deeper than any ocean and you haven't even seen the bottom. You see, there are depths of existence that you haven't even traveled, and I'm aware, which brings me to the conclusion, asking myself, why even bother? Limited times that we put on relationships that start today, but they end tomorrow. So I ask, do you even know how to love me? You see, these depths take you on a journey past and through many things that have happened, causing issues upon issues which mentally minds can't even fathom. So instead of taking this journey with me, you'll say, let's choose not to take that travel, saying that we can move on from here. To visit back there doesn't even matter. So I ask, do you even know how to love me? You see, on this journey through these depths, things start to get a little ugly. And being aware of some things, temperatures start to make you get a little muggy, hot, heated, and bothered from his story. Impacted the way that you even know how to love me. So I ask, do you even know how to love me? What's messed up is that I know that you don't. So the relationships that you dream of, I won't sign up for. Those issues uncontrolled by you because you'll make the decision not to jump in the waters. So I won't take whatever you want to call this thing any further until you make the conscious decision to jump in the water. Exploring those painful things that tore us apart, causing us to even abandon our very own sons and daughters. The thing that destroyed our hope for a beautiful tomorrow and caused you to forget how to love me. I want you to know that there is a fix, some things that I need you not to forget. And if you're looking for it to happen real fast, I'm king here to slow you down, queen, and say it won't happen that quick. But you need to remember how to love me. So creatively, I ask, do you even know how? For those of you all that don't know me, I know several of you do, but my name is Frank Frizzy Sykes. Actually, Frizzy is my stage name or nickname that I actually go by. I'm going to do one more. It's kind of entertaining and take you somewhere, but I'm going to need your participation to do this. So this one at the beginning asks two questions, and both questions I need you to respond. If you don't want me to do it, you'll have to respond no, or if you want me to do it, you can respond yes. 9 out of 10 times I'm going to do it anywhere, but still want to respond. Can I be real?
Yes.
Is it okay if I take a moment of your time just to tell you how I feel?
Yes.
You see, I was dealt these cards playing in a game called life, and I wasn't given the opportunity to cut the deck before they started to deal. Now I'm stuck here with a handful of numbers. I didn't catch an ace nor a face card. This life here is real. But even with the mess in my hand, I still got to play. I can't be like those that have been deemed to be weak and just throw my hands in and give my life away. And yes, every time I turn on the TV, I see another 2, 3, and 4's life taken away. I guess I should consider myself lucky. Even though the cards I hold in my hand is just a 5, 6, that number 7 and 8. You see, it's kind of ironic to me how the life we live and the games we play, they so easily relate. How things are set up and structured all for the sake of a game just to bring forth this big debate. I hope by now I've caught somebody's attention because I see too many people sleeping and not enough that are truly awake. That last line is to clearly question your consciousness. I hope the sound of this alarm is not too late. You see, I become frustrated with the lucky ones on my level and above. They say that there's no excuse and that everyone can make it. They've fallen into that blanket belief that if you want it bad enough, you'll do whatever it takes, even if you have to fake it. But time and time again, I run into those that are clueless and confused and can't understand why we can't all get along, have fun, and just shake it. Well, let me send this direct message to you. The ones stuck in that struggle have developed this mentality that doing whatever even includes their decision just to take it. And yes, that's by any means necessary. And I know this is not a debate with me. I see their mentality and I agree it's a little bit on the contrary. Just promise me if you ever end up in this situation, you won't scream, don't panic, and give them everything that they can carry. If you pay close attention to his voice and actions, you'll hear it trembling and see him shaking, and your death is what I'm trying to prevent, because to him you are his fear. He'll pull that trigger just because he's scary. Hyped up on whatever medication, including weed, to ease his mind from what he's doing. Not conscious enough to see how his own hunger messed with his mind, something that I define as screwing. To all my aces, kings, and queens, even to my prince and princesses out there holding that jack, I'm proud of you. Keep doing what has you booming. But I have to be real and let you know that because of our success, the hungry get hungrier. Blindly, we become that major factor in what the system had brewing. Sadly, this cycle is set, and unfortunately, we seem to be stuck on to be continued. You see, your birth was not a decision for your success nor failure, nor were you even handed this menu. There wasn't a decision when you will be born, nor were you given the option to attend life's venue. But know this, when you see Frizzy hold out his hand, I'm trying to catch you before the system ends you. Can I be real? Yeah. Thank you all. Have a blessed to you day.
Thank you, Frizzy, keeping it real. That was awesome. Yay! Thank you, guys. Now we're going to have or very soon, we're going to have a spoken word shop by Dot Haney. So stick around. We'd love to have you. Thank you all so much.